Hey, welcome to 52 Masters. For this episode, we're actually working on karate fundamentals and conditioning with my good friend Sensei Chad Eagan. And we're doing it at the beach. That being said, let's get to training. I am 51 years old. I've been a practitioner of Okinawan Shorin-ryu karate since I was 7. There was some who would call me a master. I assure you, I am not. I believe that the true expert is someone who still has a student's heart and a beginner's mind. This year, to celebrate turning 52, I'm setting out to learn from 52 other disciplines, each from its own master. Some things I've tried before, others I'm a first-day beginner, like anyone else. 52 weeks, 52 new skills. I'm William Christopher Ford, and this is 52 Masters.
Your hip, 2, hip, 3. Strike. Punch, bam. Punch, what? Attack. Grab. Cut. 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 Right? Okay, guys? And we have to connect this. No, you have to connect it. Sorry. Cut. Finish. Right? Up forward, be a little bit big and it's up. Okay? Ready to go? Yeah.
Okay, so we are back at the NKD Martial Arts Studio in Fullerton. We did the beach workout, which was a lot of fun. Sensei, thank you very much. Thank you. I have to tell you that was in all my years of training, I'd never got a chance to do a beach workout before, and I had a great time. It works you differently because of the sand.
Yeah.
I noticed that my stances were being challenged. Sometimes when you're hitting the shikodai, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, isn't it? So you can visibly see that.
Yeah.
My balance wasn't so good, but it was just fun being out in the sun and hearing the ocean and just being able to kind of before the workout meditate a little bit. It was very calming and very very healing.
Yeah.
So
I think one of the reasons why we do that, I think it's important to get outside of your dojo, because in terms of training and improving, you have to put yourself in situations that are uncomfortable. And when you're in the dojo, although we create an environment that can be uncomfortable, there's still a little bit of stability there. So when you go to the beach or you go outside the dojo, go to the park and you train, it creates different scenarios in which the student needs to adapt. So in terms of training, I think the beach can be, or even the park or up in the mountains, can be a great training experience and one that creates an environment that's challenging to the student, therefore improving them and helping them learn to adapt. But and the other side of it, as you said, it's very healing, it's very relaxing, and it's nice to take the pressure away a little bit from the students of the dojo walls a little bit. So yeah, that's kind of why we do that. We always try to create an environment to where the student can enjoy the journey.
Well, it's interesting because you do see people walking by and they're checking us out, and so you have to be able to shut that out because they're like, hey, what are they doing there? Some crazy people there in their pajamas, what are they doing? And it's just cool, I got a chance to interview Sensei Shinzo Machida a few weeks back, and he said the same thing. Everybody has a comfort zone. You got to get out of your comfort zone. So,
yes, Sensei Chinzo is very good at getting you out of your comfort zone.
He was that day, and I think because we had cameras on, he was really working to get me out of my comfort zone because I think we worked extra hard. The students were kind of giving me a little bit of a stink eye because going a little extra hard today because of the cameras, Ford? So, but it's all good. A beautiful facility you have too. It's very, very traditional in a lot of ways, but highly functional. You have the mats, obviously, that you can teach ukeme, and it's really kid friendly. You've got a hardwood section over here where I guess it's really great for kata training, especially for you have so many competitors. Makiwara, which I love. Back over there, heavy bags and big old tire looks like that you stole from a tractor, and I guess that's for doing the rolling. And
I call it sledgehammer showdown.
Oh, that's pretty cool, and that's what you do on Sunday mornings is the super workout, yes?
Super Sundays kind of started as a goof, we call it Super Sunday because we would practice the kata Suparimpe a lot.
Okay.
So
Got it.
in the beginning, I guess it was Suparimpe Sunday, and it kind of evolved into Super Sunday. And what that group became was some of my top competitors. And so it's now become ingrained in the tradition of our dojo. And so it's kind of a special group. It's an invitation only by me. And what we've been able to do on Super Sunday is combine modern forms of training, but still keep the traditional values of a traditional dojo.
Okay.
So although we combine modern forms of movement to develop the athlete's physical part. We still keep traditional kihon and go over the katas and train in a traditional way. So it's a great fusion, as I said, of the old and the new. So.
And the students don't have to wear their dogi. They can actually wear t-shirts.
Yeah, that's. I think people outside looking in, I've had the comment, oh, I noticed you guys don't wear a gi. Is that to give the students a break? And to a certain extent, yes. But from a coaching perspective, sometimes the gi, as we know, can hide technique. Or it can allow a student to cheat a little bit.
Interesting.
So when we wear our workout clothing, actually it has a functional purpose. One, when we do the workout part, it's easier to work out in workout clothes. But when we do the kata part, it actually helps me see the lines of their dachi, their stances, their shoulders. It doesn't conceal bad habits as much as the gi. And so in that way we can further refine the students' technique.
I'd never thought about that before. That's interesting. So we're getting a little bit of a secret here today. So you heard it right from Sensei Chad. You can't hide. He's going to find you. Especially especially if you got a T-shirt on.
One of the things I could say is that for our competitors, it's all in the details. Not even just for our competitors. Again, I think even in self-defense situation. A competitive situation, the details determine the outcome, determine if you go home. A lot of the missed details in a self-defense situation can create openings to where the opponent can win the fight. When we're talking in terms of competition, everybody's good when we're talking about elite competition. Like the competitors are phenomenal. And so when we're talking about how do we win, is you have to it comes down to the details. And because all the competitors are fast, all the competitors are strong, all the competitors know all the katas, right? So how do you differentiate yourself from the other competitors? And for me, it's one, you have to have details, but you also, and those details create what I think is still real karate. Again, with the karate becoming an Olympic sport, I think there's a lot of concern. Will the essence of Karate Do be lost? And I feel, it could, but I think it's up to the sensei. And, it really comes down to the sensei. I mean, for me, I want my students to stand out, not just for their athletic ability, but for their ability to still do and display real karate, effective karate. And I think as we move towards the 2020 Olympics, that's how athletes are going to stand out. So it's very important that we as senseis still value and teach the traditional, functional karate,
yes,
as well as infusing the modern workouts and just the modern mythology to physical training as well.
Well, it's certainly something I appreciate about both you and Sensei Bruce is that the self-defense component is always at the forefront. It's never like, oh, we do sport we do sport karate, and then sometimes we teach a defense against the grab or something.
Right.
Self-defense is always at the forefront. The foundation of the karate, and I think it makes your sport karate much more pleasant to watch because there is an intention behind it. It's not just I'm going to put a cartwheel in the middle of Heian Nidan. It's like no, there's really functionality, and the foundation and the basics are there. You can clearly see it, and I can see it in your students. All the way from the children, all the way up to your senpai.
Right. We have a great senpai here. They're a major part of our success. Like I said, to build an athlete takes an army. Like I said, it's like a table. Of course, you need the sensei, but you also need strong senpai, which I have great senpai. I'd like to mention Senpai Jasmine Nguyen and Senpai Jessica Kwong. They've been a huge instrument in our arsenal as far as creating our next generation of athletes.
Oh, for sure.
You need parents,
Yeah.
you know, and you need dojo support.
Mm.
Like I said, it's a table with 4 legs. If you're missing one leg, you can't go as far as you would like. And we've been very blessed for the most part in this dojo to have those 4 legs to stand on. And I think, so I said, it's not just me. It takes everybody's involvement to do what we've been able to do.
I wanted to touch a little bit upon the style, Jinen Kai.
Mm.
It essentially is stylistically, it's Shotokan and Shitoryu, and also whatever else that you've incorporated into it.
Right.
But I mean, if somebody were to say, well, what style of karate is Jinen Kai?
Mm-hmm.
Those 2 traditional styles are they form the base for your kata, correct?
I would say yes. It's a complex question for us because Jinen Kai is a new organization that we formed a few years back.
What does Jinen Kai mean?
Jinin is natural.
Okay.
So and Kai obviously is group. And the reason why we have Jinin Kai is because of my background. And my background is in Shindo Jinen Ryu. I started training under Kiyoshi Yamazaki over 34 years ago.
Okay.
I broke away from that group a few years ago
Okay.
to start Jinin Kai. So I would actually say that the backbone and the foundation of our style is Shindo Jinen Ryu.
Okay.
And Shindo Jinen Ryu was founded by Yasuhiro Konishi.
Okay.
And again, my background, my sensei, Yamazaki sensei, was taught predominantly Shotokan. So I have a strong foundation in Shotokan. But also my body style, and this is something I credit my sensei, he always felt that I was more suited for Shitoryu. So he shared with me a lot of Shitoryu kata and opened a lot of doors for me to train with a lot of great Shitoryu masters. But also the Shindo Jinen Ryu style itself has a strong base in Shitoryu as well. One, I should clarify that it's not a style, it's a group.
Got it.
And it's a group that I formed. If you have a Shotokan background, Shorin Ryu background, you can be a part of Jinen Kai. And so because I don't see, to go even deeper, I don't see karate as a style. I don't think one should limit themselves to one style. I like karate for what it is, karate. And my sensei also always said karate is karate. It's movement. And so I don't see why a karate practitioner can't do what a dancer does. See, a dancer can do tap, hip-hop, ballroom, all in one class. And so I feel that if you understand the kihon of a particular style, then you can expand upon that kihon, and you don't need to limit yourself. And so Jinen Kai, again, the reason why we formed Jinen Kai is to create training opportunities and material to help each individual dojo owner expand upon their already good curriculum.
Got it.
I would never say to you or to anybody else that would join Jinen Kai, abandon your ties, or you have to be my style. No, keep your style. How can I help you expand upon that?
Wow.
And that's what we're doing through my background and through all of the senior instructors that are involved with Jinen Kai. We're taking the best of each background and infusing it into, product or material that future Jinen Kai members can use to enhance their dojo.
Give us some words of wisdom, something that you want to impart to your students or to anyone else out there. I always ask this. This is my standard question. It's kind of like, if you were a tree, what kind of a tree would you be, right?
Bonsai.
But, well, there you go, for sure. But I would like to know, please impart, a little bit of Sensei Chad's, maybe a little fortune teller wisdom or whatever you want to call it, but something that you feel is important that you want to tell your students.
In terms of technique, consistency is key. The more consistent you are, the greater chances of success you have. And the key to consistency is training, your attitude and your approach towards training. I always tell my students that you have the choice. You know, you have to consistently make good choices. How you train is how you will perform, not only on the competition tatami, but in real life. And so, with that being said, you know, consistency can be gained, muscle memory can be gained, all of those can be gained through kihon. So a lot of people just practice the kata or just practice kumite. And I feel the formula to success is within the kihon. So if you want to do a particular kata, I always create a particular set of kihon to enhance that kata, a particular set of workouts that enhance that kata. That's kind of a little bit of the secret sauce, you know, if I might say, in terms of technique.
Okay.
But also when performing either kumite and or kata, you know, and particularly kata, what I tell my students is, if I can't tell that you won the fight by the time you finish the kata, then you didn't do it right. So there has to be a kime or a spiritual aspect to a fighting spirit when they do the kata.
Right.
But also, again, on the philosophical side, you know, a big part of our dojo philosophy is, and I've always said it to my students, and I've always said it on my social media, is that you have to enjoy the journey. And I think a lot of times people get caught up in winning or losing, or being traditional versus non-traditional, or this or that, and it consumes them. And what I try to do is create an enjoyable environment so that the student wants to learn. And so my advice would always to be, you know, for instructors, but also for practitioners, is try to enjoy the journey. You know, if you're a competitor, enjoy those experiences. If you win, keep doing what you're doing. If you lost, what can you learn to expand your knowledge? Because knowledge is power. You know, and enjoy those experiences. Enjoy the tournament. Enjoy the individuals that you meet. Because life is short. As we know. And so, again, I'm always trying to create an environment to where the students can enjoy the journey. And that becomes more important than the belt, or more important than the rank, or more important than the medal. And that's, to me, is key. That's the foundation to our dojo.
Well, again, I want to thank you for inviting me to the beach training and being willing to be on this episode of 52 Masters. Such a pleasure. And I've had the great pleasure of knowing Sensei Chad for many years now, and I'm just now starting to really get to know you. But I think that you and your dojo are just fine examples of what karateka and karate sensei should be.
Thank you. The feeling's very mutual, too, by the way.
Thank you so much. So let's let the class come in so that they can resume. And this has been 52 Masters. I'm William Christopher Ford. Once again, Sensei Chad, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mark Yoshizawa, thanks for the coffee, bro. And we'll see you next time.